I guess for somebody who's already diversified, the slice of portfolio that makes sense for art. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I would say that if you've got, again, good advice and you've got a big enough portfolio, so I would say, really, you need a portfolio of about $5 million, and I would put probably 250 to $500,000 of that into art. So I'd put 5 to 10% of your portfolio. Now, if you're richer, let's say you got $100 million, I would say you could take 10 to 15% of your portfolio and put it into art, because there are two or three aspects. One is in America, you've got a huge tax advantage if you gift it to a museum. Secondly, you've got a huge enjoyment factor. You can hang the pictures on your wall, but beware, there are state taxes. If you buy a picture at auction, let's say in tax-free in Switzerland or in the UK, and ship it out to the US, you're going to have to pay sales tax when you bring it into your state, which could be between 0 and 10%. So that has a knock-on effect. And in Europe, there are taxes that can go anywhere between 5 and 20% when you hang it on your wall. So quite a lot of investors put high-value art into warehouses, and they don't actually hang it on the wall. And sometimes they put a copy on their wall so that they can enjoy it and know that they own it. The negative side of art is that you can't really split it up. If you've got three kids and one work of art, it's rather unfair to say, well, that one work of art goes to my eldest son or my youngest son, and the others get nothing. So quite often what happens is clients with big collections, maybe they have 20 pictures worth $100,000 each, and then they have one picture worth $2 million because they bought a Basquiat. I had a client who bought a Basquiat 25 years ago for $250,000. Today, that's probably worth $20 million. And that's disproportionate value to his rest of his art collection. So what he wants to do is he's going to get us to sell that work, realize the 25 million, redeploy some of it into other artworks, and give some of that to his kids. So, but my view is that I would allocate at the bottom end 5%, at the top end 15%, and if you're very wealthy, clients in the billions of dollars sometimes put 30% of their wealth into art because their disposable assets are so enormous that art starts taking a major feature. But I would say don't buy art below $50,000, and don't buy art if you're very, very rich. Stick in don't go much above 10 million, or if you're super rich, then there's what I would call the mega game, which is the sort of 80 million, $100 million plus. So there was a big Middle Eastern country that invested circa $30 billion in art over the last 10 years. And that collection is probably worth 300 billion now. It's probably gone up 10 times because they bought discreetly at the very, very top end of the market, the rarest of the rare.